In this video, we will take a deep dive into understanding the importance of identifying your niche in business, because this is one of those concepts that can really make or break your success. You see, when you're first starting a business, it can feel overwhelming because there are so many different directions you could go in. You might think you need to appeal to as many people as possible to grow your brand and make sales. But here's the thing, trying to be everything to everyone can actually hurt you. That's why finding your niche is one of the most important things you can do, especially in today's crowded market. Now, let's break it down. When we talk about a niche, we're really talking about a specific segment of a larger market that you can serve better than anyone else. It's about narrowing your focus and becoming known as the go-to expert for a particular problem or need. For example, instead of just saying I'm going to sell clothes, you might decide to focus on eco-friendly athletic wear for women who love yoga. That's much more specific and gives you a clear target audience, which means you can craft messages that speak directly to them. But identifying that niche can feel like a tricky puzzle, right? How do you know what direction to go in? Well, it starts with a little bit of self-reflection and research. Step 1 is figuring out what you're truly passionate about. Let's be honest, if you're not excited about what you're doing, it's going to be hard to sustain your energy and motivation. Passion is contagious, and if you're genuinely excited about solving a particular problem or offering something people need, it's much easier to build a brand that resonates with your audience. So ask yourself, what are you interested in? What problems do you love solving? For instance, if you're passionate about fitness and sustainability, you might be drawn to creating eco-friendly gym gear. The more specific you can get about your interests, the more you can focus your efforts on something that feels fulfilling. Once you've figured out what excites you, it's time for step 2, which is researching the market. Here's the deal, even though you're passionate about something, it doesn't mean there's a ready market for it. This is where the research comes in. You need to find out if there are people out there who not only care about the problem you're solving, but are also willing to pay for the solution. This involves looking at existing competitors, identifying gaps in the market, and finding where your offering could stand out. You want to make sure that the niche you choose has enough demand, but isn't so saturated that it's impossible to break into. So how do you go about this? Start by looking at online communities, social media groups, forums, and even doing a quick Google search to see what people are talking about. You might discover a group of people who are underserved or have specific needs that larger brands overlook. For example, if you're interested in organic skincare, you might find that there's a growing community of people who have sensitive skin and are seeking products specifically for that concern. Or you might notice that there's a lack of affordable options in the market for a specific demographic. This insight can help you carve out your niche by identifying an area where you can stand out and offer something unique. Next, let's talk about step 3, understanding your ideal customer. Now that you've got a general idea of the type of business you want to create, you need to get to know the people you're aiming to serve. Who exactly are they? What do they care about? What problems do they need solving? This is where customer personas come in. A customer persona is a semi-fictional character that represents your ideal customer, and it's based on data and research. You'll define things like age, gender, income level, interests, pain points, and even their preferred way of consuming content. The more detailed your persona, the easier it will be to tailor your marketing messages and products to fit their needs. Let's take a moment here. If you're finding this helpful and want to learn more about affiliate marketing and other marketing strategies, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Master Your Map, where we share actionable tips and insights to help you succeed in the real and digital world. Don't miss out, hit that subscribe button now. Let's return to the value of a niche. For instance, if you're planning to sell a product for busy professionals, your customer persona might be someone who's in their 30s or 40s, works long hours, has disposable income, but struggles to find time for things like self-care or fitness. Knowing these specifics helps you create content that speaks to their situation, such as offering quick, effective solutions that fit into a hectic lifestyle. Once you've figured out your passion, done your market research, and created a customer persona, it's time to narrow your focus even more. This part can feel a bit tricky because it's tempting to want to serve as many people as possible. But the reality is that by focusing on a more specific niche, you're able to position yourself as the expert in that area. For example, instead of trying to sell general fitness products, you might focus on selling yoga gear for people who practice in small apartments. Or, if you love technology but you're not sure how to narrow your focus, maybe you could offer consulting services to small business owners who want to streamline their processes using tech tools. It's important to remember that niching down doesn't mean you're limiting your potential, it means you're setting yourself up to build a strong foundation. Once you become well known for solving a specific problem, you can always expand your offerings later on. So, whether you start with a narrow focus on a specific group of people, a particular product, or a unique value proposition, you're giving yourself the opportunity to grow organically in a way that feels authentic and valuable to your audience. Now that you've found your niche, the next step is to test and refine your idea. No niche is perfect right out of the gate, and there's always room for improvement. Start by launching your product or service to a small group, gather feedback, and see how your audience responds. Use their insights to adjust your approach and make your niche even more precise. As you continue to engage with your audience, you'll learn more about what they like, what they don't, and how you can continue to serve them better. Another key aspect of finding your niche is realizing that your business will evolve over time. Your niche might shift or expand as you learn more about your audience and market. It's perfectly fine to adapt and grow your niche as you discover new opportunities or as trends change. Being open to evolution while staying focused on your core mission is one of the keys to long-term success. To wrap it all up, identifying your niche is about focusing on a specific audience and problem that you're passionate about and that has enough demand to sustain your business. It's about doing your research, getting to know your customers, and tailoring your products or services to meet their needs in a way that bigger brands can't. The more focused you are, the more successful your niche business will be. So take the time to reflect on what excites you, research the market, and listen to your ideal customers. By finding your niche, you're setting yourself up for success, not only in building your brand, but in creating meaningful relationships with the people who truly need what you have to offer.